C'è la luna in mezzo mare, mamma mia, mi maridate.
I'm going to be making a traditional Sicilian cookie, candy cookie. It's called Giggiulena or Giggiulene. I'm not Sicilian, but a friend of mine over 20 years ago taught me how to make these, and I make them every year at Easter time. And I wanted to put this on video so that someday when my children want to make this, if I'm not around, they can. We need to have 7 cups of sesame seeds, which I have in this bowl. And 7 cups of sesame seeds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I'm going to mix that in there. Good tablespoon of cinnamon. Just mix it in to the sesame seeds. Really good. 1 cup of honey. Any kind of honey will do. We need to have 1½ cups of sugar, just regular granulated sugar. We need 2 cups of toasted unsalted almonds. We need a really nice shot of amaretto, and you can have one for yourself too, which is always good when you're making these because it takes a while. What we're going to need is a deep sauce pot. You're going to need a heavy spoon for stirring. Okay. You're also going to need some pot holders because it gets tiring stirring with this. You might want to put a pot holder on your hand while you're stirring. And you might want to get some help, like your teenage boys or girls or your husband or a friend to help you because you're going to be stirring for 20 minutes. You're also going to need a nice big wooden board that you're going to be rolling the sesame seeds out onto once that they're cooked. If you can get a heavy duty roller like this, which we just happen to have because my family had owned a bakery, this would be great to have. Then you're also going to need a nice knife that you're going to be cutting the sesame seeds with once they cool into little triangular shapes. And you're going to need a little cup of water because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to water the board before you put the sesame seeds on here so that they don't stick to the board. You're going to also need some colored candy shots. These are going to be sprinkled onto the sesame seeds. First thing you're going to do is place the entire cup of honey in the bottom of the saucepan. Once you have the honey in the pan, then what you're going to do is you're just going to slowly pour the sugar on top of the honey, and you're not going to stir it at all. You're just going to place the 1½ cups of sugar on top of the honey. Then you're going to turn the temperature to medium low. What you're going to do from here is you're going to wait until the honey starts to bubble and the sugar just completely dissolves. As you can see, the honey is beginning to boil, and it's going to really come to a really rapid boil, and the sugar is going to become very foamy. So once it's very foamy, as you can see, it's starting to be foamy right now. Once it's all foamy like that and the sugar's been dissolved, then we're going to add the sesame seeds and begin to stir. We're going to stir for 15 minutes, continually stirring, non-stop stirring, and it becomes very difficult. But after the 15 minutes, then we're going to add the almonds, and it becomes even more difficult. As you can see, all the sugar has dissolved, and now we're going to pour in the sesame seeds. Now I've got some help to help me pour in. The 7 cups of sesame seeds are now going into the honey and sugar mixture. And we're just going to continually stir. Okay. As you can see, we have a really thick mixture. We're going to continually stir this now for 15 minutes, making sure that we don't burn the mixture. So it's a continual stirring. And as you can see, it's good for your arms. It's very tough to do. So I'm going to set the timer right now for 15 minutes. And I'm going to ask for some help as my arm starts to get tired. If you're strong, you can actually do this by yourself for the entire 15 minutes. I have done it when I couldn't find any help, but today I have my husband who's going to take over in a little while, and I'm going to have a shot of amaretto. I've got 6 more minutes to stir before I add the almonds, and I think that I'm now going to let my husband help out while oh, he doesn't want to help out. Okay, so I'll just continue stirring and I'll have my shot of amaretto. I'm done. So with 5 minutes left, I've called in the reinforcements for stirring. As you can see, while my husband's stirring, I've got my shot ready to have a salute. I'm just going to pour another shot of amaretto because my cameraman just drank from the original shot that we had. Anyway, the amaretto is going to go in after we, he's trying to get his shot here. I'm going to give this to the cameraman. Okay, so we've been stirring now for 15 minutes. I'm going to have my husband pour in the 2 cups of almonds, and we're going to stir those in really good, and then we're going to slowly, after these are all in, you can put them all in, honey.
Put all your nuts in.
Now, we're going to stir these for 5 minutes.
Holy crap.
And I'm going to also have my husband slowly pour in the shot of amaretto. Gives it a really nice almond flavor. And you put it on top, slowly on top of the sesame seeds because you don't want it to catch on fire. You can hear it sizzling. You can add a little more if you want. So what's going to happen is, in a few minutes, we're going to bring this pot over to the wooden board with regular tap water and put it on our cutting board, just so that the sesame seeds don't stick. I'm also going to take some water and when I start to roll out, I'm going to put it on my rolling pin. This helps the sesame seeds not to stick to the rolling pin too. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to dump out sesame seeds. This is a tough part too, trying to scrape them off the sides. They're really sticky. I'm going to take, if you have a spatula like this, to really try and clean the sides. It starts to stick. Now that it's all out of the pot, make sure, like I said, that it's wet. We're going to test it and try and roll this out, see if it sticks. I'm going to pounce on it with your roller. We're going to try and make this as flat as we can make it. The cutting is really fast, so you kind of want to try and get it rolled out fast. But if it's sticking like this is happening, just take it off, plop it back on, and try rolling it. I'm going to stop for a minute and I'm just going to put some of these sprinkles on. And we're going to start cutting. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go straight lines. So what we're going to do now is cut all the way to the end. If it's sticking to your knife, then you might want to wait a little while, but it hardens really fast, so we're going to try and cut 1-inch strips all the way to the end. Now that we finished cutting all the way to the end, we're now going to start cutting on an angle so that they're like diamond shaped. The ends, you'll end up eating those yourself instead of displaying them. But we're going to cut at an angle, and you can see the shape that it takes on. And it's really beautiful with the candies inside and the almonds. So here we have our finished product. It's all cut up, and what we're going to do then is to place this on a dish. But if it's still sticky on the back, I like to flip them over and let them dry a little bit. The front is all nice and dry. But you don't want them sticking together. So you can flip them over, let them dry, and then put them in a Tupperware container, or you can put them in a glass jar But you can put them in the freezer and they keep for a very long time. So as you can see, these are crunchy, they're delicious, they're sesame seeds. Be careful if you have teeth problems, but they're the hit of the party. The honey flavor and the amaretto, so good. And here we have our finished sesame candy, or Giggiulena, or Giggiuline, as they would say in Sicily. I hope that's how they say it. And we're ready for Easter, or whatever festivity that you would like to have. I hope you enjoyed this video, and a happy Giggiulena making.
Giggiulenelle, quando sei belle, tutte non faccio mozzarella.